You know those nights when you sit down to finally figure out your next step, update your resume, map out your career path, or just decide what's next? And an hour later, you've got 12 tabs open, 3 lists started, and absolutely no clarity? Yep, been there too. The truth is, clarity isn't hiding in another Google search. It's not about doing more, it's about clearing the fog so you can see what's already inside you. And today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that. By the end of this episode, you'll not only know what's been keeping you stuck, you'll have your own personal clarity compass pointing you back to your next best step. So grab your coffee, mama. This is going to feel like a workshop and a reset all in one. Hey mama, welcome to Career Growth for Working Moms. If you're stuck in a job that doesn't fit or burning out trying to do it all, you're in the right place. I'm Shannon, a career coach and fellow working mom. Here, you'll get simple career strategies and strength-based leadership tips to help you grow with clarity and confidence. So grab your coffee or reheat it for the third time and let's do this. Hey mama, welcome back to the show. I want you to picture this with me. You're standing in your kitchen, the kids are finally down for the night, the house is quiet except for the hum of the dishwasher. You open your laptop because you've promised yourself you'd finally update your resume or look into that training program or map out your next step, but you just sit there, staring. You type a few words, delete them, open a new tab, maybe start Googling best jobs for working moms or how to know if I should change careers. 10 minutes in, you're already overwhelmed. An hour in, you've got 12 tabs open, 3 half-finished ideas, and 0 clarity. You close the laptop, sigh, and think, why can't I just figure this out? Does any of that sound familiar? That's the fog. Clarity isn't always about knowing the exact 5-year plan. Sometimes clarity is just being able to see the very next step. But when you're in the fog, even that feels impossible. Now, here's what I've learned, both personally and through coaching dozens of women. There are usually 4 hidden triggers that keep us stuck in the fog. I call them the 4 fog triggers. So let's break them down. Fog trigger number 1 is over-identification. This is when you're so wrapped up in your roles as mom, manager, helper, that you can't hear what you actually want anymore. I'll never forget a client who said, Shannon, I don't even know what I like anymore. I've been in mom mode and work mode for so long that I don't know what's me and what's just the role I'm playing. If that's you, here's the truth. Your roles are important, but they are not your identity. And when you over-identify with them, clarity gets drowned out. So take a moment and ask yourself, what part of me have I set aside because I've been busy playing my roles? Write that down. Fog trigger number 2 is overcommitment. This one's a biggie for working moms. You said yes to so many things out of guilt, pressure, or fear of missing out that you can't even see your own priorities through the noise. Let me give you a picture. It's like trying to hear your favorite song on the radio, but every other car on the road is blasting a different station. That's what overcommitment does. It drowns out your clarity. One mom I worked with was saying yes to every volunteer request at school, every extra project at work, every play date, every family obligation. Her calendar was jam-packed, but her clarity, nowhere to be found. So let me ask you, where are you overcommitting right now? What's one thing on your plate that doesn't align with your true priorities? Write that down. Okay, fog trigger number 3, overprocessing. This one's sneaky. It's when you're constantly thinking, rethinking, second-guessing, overanalyzing until clarity never even gets a chance to speak. Picture yourself standing in front of the cereal aisle. There are 50 options. You go back and forth. This one has more fiber. This one's organic. This one's cheaper. This one comes in a bigger box. You leave exhausted, maybe without even buying one. That's what overprocessing does to your decisions. You're spending so much energy analyzing every angle that you end up making no decision at all. So what's one decision you've been overprocessing lately? Write that down. Okay, fog trigger number 4 is over control. This one might sting a bit. Over control is when we're trying to plan the perfect path before you even take the first step. You're waiting until you know every single outcome, every possible risk, every guarantee. But here's the truth. You can't control your way to clarity. You only find clarity in motion. One mom I worked with kept waiting to leave her draining job until she had a perfect plan for her next one. Guess what? She stayed stuck for 2 years. The fog didn't clear until she took one small imperfect step towards something new. So, where are you waiting for perfection before you move? Write it down. Okay, let's do a quick recap over here. Over identification, you're lost in your roles. Over commitment, you've said yes to everything. Over processing, you're stuck in analysis paralysis. Over control, you're waiting for the perfect plan. Which one feels most like your fog right now? Here's the good news. Naming your fog is the first step to clearing it. Once you can see it, you can shift it. And that's what we're going to do next, together. Okay, so we've named your fog, the fog that you're in. Now, let's talk about clearing it. Because here's the truth. Clarity doesn't come from more information. It doesn't come from 20 Google searches or 3 new self-help books or even filling another notebook with lists. Clarity comes from connection to yourself. And to help you get there, I want to walk you through what I call the clarity compass. It's 4 simple questions that point you back to what matters most. And if you let them, they'll guide you out of the fog. So question number 1, what's energizing me lately? Think about the last few weeks. What moments lit you up? What gave you a spark of joy or peace? Maybe it was finishing a project at work and feeling proud. Maybe it was a quiet morning with your coffee before the kids woke up. Maybe it was helping a coworker and realizing how much you love mentoring. Write down 3 moments that energized you, big or small, because clarity often hides in your energy. If it gives you life, it's a clue. Question number 2, what's draining me right now? What's leaving you exhausted, irritated, or resentful? Maybe it's that weekly meeting that feels pointless. Maybe it's the never-ending laundry. Maybe it's constantly being the one to fix everyone else's problems. Write down 3 things that are draining you right now. You cannot create clarity while carrying constant drains. Naming them gives you the power to shift them. All right, question number 3. What am I doing just because I should? Oh, mama, this one's big. What are you only doing because of guilt, pressure, or comparison? Maybe it's staying in a role you've outgrown because you should be grateful. Maybe it's volunteering for everything because you should be a good mom. Maybe it's saying yes at work because you should prove yourself. Write down 1 or 2 things that you're doing out of should. Every should you carry is a fog machine. It clouds your clarity. All right, question number 4. What's the one thing I keep thinking about but haven't acted on? This one's my favorite because it's often where the gold is. What's the idea that keeps tugging at you? The nudge that won't go away? Maybe it's applying for a different role. Maybe it's starting a side business. Maybe it's setting a boundary or going back to school, or even carving out time for a passion project. What's the one thing you keep circling around but haven't acted on? Write it down. Because that nudge isn't random. It's your clarity trying to get your attention. All right, take a look at what you just wrote. This is your clarity compass. What energizes you? That points to your values. What drains you? That shows you where the leaks are. What shoulds are you carrying? That's the weight you can lay down. And what nudge won't go away? Because that right there is your next step. Clarity doesn't have to be complicated. It's usually about subtracting the noise and listening to what's already there. Let me give you an example from one of my clients. She came to me saying, I just feel stuck. I don't know if I should stay in my job or leave. I don't know what I want anymore. We walked through these exact 4 questions. Her energizing moments, mentoring her younger teammates. Her drains, administrative busy work. Her shoulds, staying in a management track because it was the logical next step. And her nudge, she had been thinking about starting a coaching certification for over a year. When she saw it all written down, she said, "Shannon, it feels so obvious. I've been chasing the wrong things. What I really want is to coach and mentor." That moment, that's clarity. Now, did she have her entire 5-year plan mapped out? No. But she knew her next right step: sign up for the certification. That step changed everything. Now, look at your 4 answers. What feels obvious now? What's the theme that keeps showing up? Here's the shift. Clarity doesn't mean you know the whole map. Clarity means you know the next step. So instead of waiting until you can see the entire road, ask yourself, what's the one aligned step I can take today? And that's how the fog starts to lift. All right, Mama, let's take this one step further. Because here's what I know. Clarity doesn't look the same for everyone. How you find it, how you feel it, how you act on it, it's shaped by your natural leadership style. So instead of giving you a one-size-fits-all formula, I want to show how each of the 4 styles clears the fog in their own way. And I want you to notice which one sounds most like you. All right, boss lady in action. For you, clarity comes through movement. You don't think your way into clarity, you act your way into it. Here's what that can look like. When you're stuck, your brain says, just pick something and do it. And you're right, action creates momentum. But here's the shadow. Sometimes you take on too much, and just to feel that hit of productivity. You check 15 things off the list, but still feel unclear. So here's your clarity script. Instead of asking, what all needs to get done, ask, what one thing matters most right now? Do that first, pause, and then reassess. Clarity isn't the pile of tasks, it's in the aligned priority. Charismatic Queen. For you, clarity comes through expression. You don't find it by keeping it in your head. You find it by putting it into words, sharing it, speaking out loud. When you're stuck, your energy stalls. You start doubting your impact, and sometimes you overcompensate, taking on projects just to be seen or validated. But here's the truth. You don't need more applause. You need more alignment. So here's your clarity script. Instead of asking, what will people respond to? Ask, what message or vision feels true to me right now? Then speak it, write it, voice note it, share it, not for approval, but for alignment. Clarity comes when your voice matches your values. Heart-centered guide. For you, clarity comes through connection. You often know exactly what others need, but your own needs get buried under the weight of caring. When you're stuck, it's usually because you've been listening to everyone else's voices and ignoring your own. And the fog feels emotional. You're carrying too much. So here's your clarity script. Instead of asking, what do they need from me? Ask, what do I need right now to feel whole? Then give yourself permission to create that container, a walk, journaling time, quiet space, because clarity comes when you reconnect with yourself. Visionary Brainiacs, for you, clarity comes through processing. You love to think things through, analyze, map the big picture. When you're stuck, it's usually because you're in analysis paralysis, waiting for the perfect plan before you act, and the fog thickens the longer you wait. So here's your clarity script. Instead of asking, what's the perfect plan? Ask, what's the next imperfect step that will give me more information? Set a timer for 20 minutes. Brainstorm, pick one step, and then move. Clarity comes in motion, not just in thought. Now, here's the important thing. None of these are better than the others. They're just different paths to the same place, which is clarity. The problem comes when you try to force yourself into someone else's process. A boss lady trying to think her way to clarity will just spin in circles. A visionary brainiac trying to act without processing will feel panicked. A heart-centered guide ignoring her own needs will burn out. A charismatic queen chasing applause will lose herself. But when you know your wiring, you know your clarity path. So, which clarity script do you need most this week? Write it down. And if you're not sure, go take my free leadership style quiz, link at the bottom, And it will show you your dominant wiring in minutes. And suddenly, the fog will feel a whole lot easier to clear. Because clarity isn't about forcing yourself into a mold, it's about leading in the way you were designed. All right, Mama, let's pause together. Take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. You've named your fog. You've walked through your compass. You've discovered how your wiring shapes your path to clarity. Now, let's anchor this with a reset. Close your eyes if you're able. If you're driving, just listen and imagine. Picture yourself waking up 1 week from today. The fog isn't gone forever. Life is still life, but it's lighter. You can see the path in front of you. Instead of staring at 20 tabs of options, you know your next one step. Instead of drowning in shoulds, you've released one that doesn't serve you. Instead of over-processing, you've acted. Instead of over-controlling, you've trusted yourself. See yourself moving through your week with clarity. You're choosing what matters, letting go of what doesn't, and feeling steady instead of scattered. And the best part? You're doing it as yourself, not as the hustling, overextended version, as you who leads from her wiring. So let's take another deep breath and exhale. That's your clarity reset. So, your homework for this week. Walk through the Clarity Compass questions, write down your answers. Pick one fog trigger you want to shift. Try your clarity script for your leadership style. Boss lady, Charismatic Queen, Heart-Centered Guide, or Visionary Brainiac. And when you do, pause to notice how it feels. Clarity isn't about knowing the whole map. It's about trusting the next aligned step. And Mama, if this episode gave you a little light in the fog, would you screenshot it, share it, and tag me? And if you have 30 seconds, leave a review. It helps this show reach more women who are desperate for clarity in their own journey. You don't have to hustle your way to answers. You don't have to burn out trying to figure it all out. The clarity is already inside you. You just need to clear the fog to see it. See you next time. Hey, Working Mama, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to share it with a friend who's stuck in her career but doesn't want to sacrifice her family to grow? Also, please leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts. It seriously lights me up to know this show is helping you navigate burnout, find clarity, and lead with confidence. All right, time to shut down my laptop and pretend I'm not hiding from folding that laundry. I'll meet you back here soon for another episode of Career Growth for Working Moms. You've got this.